but the rest of it isn't. So that's the only part that you can't touch, and you have to be really careful about. So when you take it out of the package, it has this like cap on it, but it's not, even when you take the cap off, it's still blocked. So you take the cap off, and you get this white thing out and ready to go. And it's really like sharp, so basically like you really have to hold this part of the bag nice and firm while you're guiding it in, because you can accidentally go like that and it'll puncture and the bag is ruined. And
so you're not touching the white.
So you're not touching the white thing, you're just touching this like little, I don't know, this teat or whatever that's hanging off of it. And then your line is closed, presumably, because you got it out of the package. So the line should be closed. But before you hook it up, and especially before you touch the drip chamber, you should just make sure your line is closed. And then just as added insurance, if you kink the line, then even if this isn't closed, it's not a big deal. But then you just squeeze the drip chamber, and usually if you just do it twice, that'll get it dripping. So if you didn't close it, it'll end up full of air bubbles, which isn't the end of the world, but you just have to go like this for like a long time, and to get all the air bubbles to move down, and like flicking it, and they'll move all the way down the line and out here, and it just takes a long time to do. And you have your line open to do that, to like let the air bubbles move and the fluid move. So
right now it's open, or is it closed?
I just open it for a second.
Okay.
And just reclose it. So it has a little air bubble. So like if you saw that, I don't know what Shelly Ann said, but my friend said that you just like run it until that air bubble comes out, because it's not, usually it won't hurt a person if there's, or like this tiny little air bubble here isn't going to hurt anybody, so not to worry about that. But if there's like a lot of air, like this is a pretty big air bubble, if I was going to hook this up to somebody, I would make sure all that stuff was out to the best of my ability before doing it, as far as I understand. So then you would like basically remove this thing and just sort of set it back in there, so you're not struggling with it later. And set up all your IV stuff. Can you pass me a piece of Tegaderm?
What are our IV items?
So we have the angiocath and Tegaderm, alcohol, and I don't like, I guess usually they use gauze, it seems like, in hospitals, but we don't have any here, just to put under for any blood flashback that might happen.
Tape.
And the tape, yeah. So can you pass?
Hi.
Hey.
We have problems going to Ottawa.
Oh no,
What's going on?
People forget their computers and phones here.
Oh.
So it's not a road issue.
Not mine. I'm just going to get them.
Can you pass me the tape over there?
Yeah.
That one rips better. So you get all this stuff set up in advance. So you need one long one, and then another long one that you turn into two skinny ones. Which you don't have to split it, but I just found that it made everything so much tidier. And this tape is really good because it just splits it pretty much evenly all the way down. And open up your Tegaderm.
Ever so slightly.
And then remove this top one too, and just set it in a place where you're not accidentally gonna like knock it to the floor or something. And you open your angiocath. And these ones really scare me because they don't have like a safety clip-back mechanism.
You just pull it out.
Yeah, and I really hope that we don't ever deal with these in the hospital because they seem crazy to me.
Angiocath.
I can't even, like, I always have a hard time getting this top off. I know there's
Mhm.
like a simple trick to it, but I haven't figured out what it is, and I just fumble with it until finally it comes off. And so you just sort of like leave it set in there, but you want to the pink thing, or like it'll be green or blue sometimes too, depending on the like I don't know, diameter of the sharp. But you just want to like loosen the pink thing. These ones kind of come loose already, but the green ones that we used before are like usually tightly screwed on, so you just want to make sure that they're not screwed on anymore, and you're not fumbling with that once the thing is in a person's arm. So then you do this, like you do the same thing too, where you tourniquet and then mark and find the right vein and the right direction. And so the veins that they told us, like, it's best to use wrist ones and arm ones. But I think if somebody doesn't have good arm ones, like if they're kind of coily and you're not going to be able to feed the catheter in there very well, but they have a good hand vein, I feel like it's okay to use the hand, because it's just the angiocath that's in there. It's not a sharp. It's not really going to damage you. It's just annoying to have it stuck on. So, and then so my vein is really good and long. Like you can see it. It goes pretty straight all the way up right here at branches. So this is where my friend did it, and that's a good place. If you do it too close to the branch, there might be a valve, and then you'd have a hard time advancing the angiocath. But you wouldn't want to start up here first, because wait, I'm just double checking if that was the right thing I just said. Yeah, if you start up here and it doesn't work, then you can't move down here. But if you start down here and it doesn't work, you can move up the same vein. I think because it just it kind of ruins the blood flow down.
There's like a hole.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, because I didn't try that to see if it's true. But that was the tip she gave me. And then if you do hit a valve, because you can hit a valve in a straight spot, and it would feel like you already got flashbacks, so you know you're in the vein, and you're holding the sharp steady and advancing the angiocath, and it will only go so far. So then what you can do is just take the sharp out and put the thing on, and then open the lines so the fluid goes in, and then that will force the valve open, and you can just advance it the rest of the way. So you know where your vein is, and you're all set up. And you take your scary long sharp, and you do the same thing where you anchor the vein and you just palpate just to make sure that it hasn't rolled over. And then you're going in on a 10-degree angle, and you're trying to go sure and fast, so you're not going in really slow and hurting somebody's skin.
Bevel up or no?
Bevel up, always bevel up. So you go in. Oh, this isn't even the pipe.
No.
Do you think that would make a difference?
Not really. I
Okay.
think I'll just dilute this blood here.
So you go in, and if you're in the vein, you should get flashback. So I am getting a little bit of flashback, and that way you know you're in place. So then you can stop anchoring, and you just hold the sharp still, and you advance the angiocath, so the sharp isn't going in any farther. It's as far as it needs to go. Just the angiocath is going in.
So you're pushing the pink thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. And then once your angiocath is all the way in, then you collapse the vein to minimize any bleeding.
Flash. Okay, yeah.
And you pull out your sharp and you dispose of it right away, but it would have a safety mechanism, so you don't have to deal with that. And then you put this thing on. But normally, I don't know, I bled a lot when my friend did it. I think some people you can collapse their veins and some people you can't. But once you open the line, it just pushes the blood. Some of it leaked out into the thing, so it shouldn't do that, but it just pushes the blood back in, so it shouldn't look messy and scary to anybody. And I don't know what these little things are for. They're
So the
probably
line was just
stable
open for a
ones.
short moment there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What's that?
The line was open for a short moment there, and then you just closed it.
I could keep it open.
Oh no, I just wanted to. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
opened it for a second and then I closed it, but I could keep it open while I'm doing
Okay.
this part. So now the line's in, it's in the vein, whatever, everything's good. So now you're putting your Tegaderm up to the top of the pink part. It's what's holding the pink thing in place.
That's interesting. Some other people did like the entire.
Yeah,
over
all
the
the
whole thing.
way over the whole thing.
Yeah.
I guess it does. It's probably one of those things where
It's
it
just.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's people learn different
Yeah.
stuff. And then, so for that blood coming out, that's where like, I think hospitals would use gauze just to,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have gauze. So,
Strips of tape.
so then the first thin piece goes under the little port or hub or whatever it is and wraps around it. And I just think that the skinny pieces are tidier to use. And then this one, and I'm not sure, I know like these can't be, like they need to be accessible.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. So then the second one just sort of gets taped.
So it can be doubled like that.
Like
Yeah.
the line double?
Yeah.
I think it normally is.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to keep it away, like out of
All
the
right.
way.
And it can go, this piece of tape can go around the hand and everything, like it's not really, I don't know, for some reason I thought it couldn't be integral, but yeah, just goes wherever it needs to go.
Right. Yeah.
And then, I always forget this comes off after you get flashback.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
okay.
I always forget that on the IVs.
Okay. So flashback.
Yeah.
Then you take that off. Then you occlude the
Which
vein.
makes sense until I took it off after too. Or after she hooked up the thing.
I found a really good YouTube video for it, and I'll watch that again just to make sure that's when you take it off. But that's what I remember, taking it off after you get the flashback. So that's it.
That's great.
It's very easy. I was really intimidated before trying it by this huge long sharp, but then when I realized that it's only going in until you get flashback,
Yes,
it's not
like the entire.
That's a really good trick.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
because I didn't